Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be explaining why I chose to use a midwife and why I will never, ever, 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 cannot stress that enough, go to an obgyn. Anyways, let's get started. So basically, just a little background. I wanted to personally go with a natural birth. Didn't work out that way. Ended up getting an epidural, but I really wanted a natural birth and I really wanted a water birth. And a lot of people kind of talked me out of it, and they were like, just at least find a doctor, go to the first appointment, see how it goes, blah 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 blah. I really want you to have a birth in a hospital. I was planning on having a natural birth though, so they told me I would regret it. They were right. I would have regretted it if I ended up giving birth at the birthing center, because I really enjoyed that epidural. And midwife can't give you an epidural at the birth center, but they do have like natural gas, water birth, an herbal bath. They have showers and a nice comfortable actual bed, not a hospital bed. So yeah, it would have been nice, but if I could do natural labor, which I can't. But basically, I went to my first doctor's appointment, which I also have a vlog on. I will put that up here in the cards, so you can watch that. And they were both on the same day. So the first appointment was at the doctor's office. And in the video at the time, I debated almost going with them. But now looking back on it, I'm so glad I didn't. So glad. So I had called, made sure that Andrew could come to the first appointment, and they said yes, he can, because the partners are allowed to go to the first appointment because it's the first time getting to see your child for the first time after 8 weeks of vomiting. It's the first time, so it's kind of a big deal. So the day of, I get there and they're like, make sure you wear a mask, make sure you do this, make sure you do this. And they were so rude. So freaking rude over the phone. I was on hold for like 2 hours also. Why? Don't know. They weren't even that busy when I got there. I called, they were like, no one's with you, right? And I'm like, actually, my boyfriend is, because you guys told me he could go to the first appointment. And also I get really bad anxiety when I give blood and I shake a lot. So I need him to be there to calm me down. Because it's true, I do. My anxiety tends to make me shake, and when you have a freaking needle in your vein, you don't want to be shaking and going blah. So yeah, so I made sure that he could come, and then they said actually he can't. So I was like, no, not what you told me the first time, so we'll figure this out, because he's coming to this freaking appointment with me. So the lady said he could come in, after arguing with her for like 25 minutes. And then we get up there into the room. It was so confusing because their main entrance wasn't even open because of COVID, and everything's so BS because of COVID. So then you have to stand on these red lines of tape, 6 feet apart, At this point, COVID was over, I thought. So then my nurse lady that's gonna be dealing with me opens the door, and she's like, you can't be here, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, they said he could come. And she's like, no, he needs to go sit in the car. So my face goes bright tomato red because I am so annoyed at this point. And then, yeah, so Andrew went to the car and he didn't get to see the first ultrasound. Ask me how mad I was. Ask me how mad I was. I was beyond furious. And I was like, they said like 5 times that he could come. So I'm confused why he had to leave. And she's like, well, there are regulations for COVID. Only the mothers can come. And I'm like, well, the fathers are pretty important too. It's their child too. If I have to be here and sit and do this crap, so does he. I need his help to fill out the paperwork. And then it was like, I was just over it at this point. So then it's like a nice hospital setting, if that makes sense. It's like their waiting room was nice, but you don't get to use the waiting room because of COVID. And then the ultrasound room was really nice. They have a big like flat screen TV that you can look at, and it's like dimmed and it's all calm and nonchalant in there. But everything else is like sterile, white, and ugh. Ugh. Blah, blah, blah. And she is talking 100 miles per hour. This is my first appointment. I'm stressed out. My anxiety's high because Andrew's not with me. I know I'm gonna have to get blood drawn. I'm tripping out. I don't know what they're gonna do in the first appointment. I'm a first-time mom, you know. Things are just not easy for first-time moms in the first appointment, at the first of anything. So I was stressed, to say the least. I was literally shaking the entire time I was there. And she is talking so fast, hands me a freaking stack this big of paperwork to fill out while she's talking to me, asking me questions that I need to answer, getting annoyed with me when I ask, I'm sorry, what did you say? Because I'm trying to freaking fill out paperwork at the same time she's screaming at me. I'm like, my brain's about to explode, basically. So then, she takes me to go get my blood drawn. And I'm literally on the verge of passing out. I kid you not. You know, they put you in the little chair that's basically like a high chair strap-in thing that they like strap you to, and they put that down, had my arm out like this. I look away because if I look at it, I will pass out. I'm not very good with IVs or getting my blood drawn. I've never been good with it. I am a little bit better at it now, going through pregnancy and being in the hospital 27,000 times and several ER visits during my pregnancy. I start shaking and I'm like, I'm going like this, and she's like not even paying attention to me. It's another lady at this point. And then she looks at me because I'm literally like, I can't do it, but I'm literally like shaking so bad to the point where like my entire body's shaking. So I'm sitting there shaking like a mofo, and then she quickly looks at me, and then she takes like a second look and like looks at me like this, and she's like, oh my god, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I'm fine. I'm just like on the verge of passing out because you idiots wouldn't let my person be here to anyways. And I'm stressed out because you guys stress me out, and I'm stressed to the max because I don't want to be here. And yeah, so that's that. And then the only nice part was getting the ultrasound and getting to see my son for the first time. But I was so sad because like I couldn't even enjoy the moment because Andrew wasn't there to experience it with me. And I asked if I could record it on my phone, and she's like, no, you may not. Then my second appointment, my midwife, I met with Dana, that's her name, my midwife, and I walk in, there's like cool neon lights that say like, you look good, babe. There's like nice couches. The front desk lady's like, oh my gosh, hi. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm going here, I'm giving birth here. I knew it from the freaking start. Shouldn't have even gone to that stupid appointment because then Andrew wouldn't have even missed the first ultrasound. Oh, and they ended up screwing me later because I don't even know what my true due date was because they never took his measurements on the first appointment, and I ended up having to redo my first test because they never sent it over to my birthing center after they requested it like 5 different times, and they held off my test so long because they knew that I didn't like getting my blood drawn. So they, for my sake, because they love me and they care about me, tried putting that off for so long, but the hospital never sent them the friggin' records, so they ended up having to do it anyways. We go into this nice room, and it's so chill in there. The lights are dimmed. It's like, it's how I'm sitting now. It's like all the lights are off, but the windows were open, so it was like still bright in there, but it wasn't like boom, sterile hospital lighting. And there was like a nice couch for us to sit on, and there wasn't like the, you know, with the flat crap you have to lay on for them and put your legs up, you know, there wasn't that. So it was really nice, and it was really peaceful. And then we didn't even like do any test or anything. We didn't draw blood or anything. We just sat down and they asked us questions. They got to know us. They asked if we had any questions, asked what I wanted for my birth. They just made a connection like human beings need. So that's the day I decided to choose my midwife. And now, what, baby? Oh, you faker. You faking. You faker. So I have my list of why I will never go and why I love my midwife. Like I said at the beginning, I wanted a natural birth, and they had the options for that, and a hospital did not. So that is the pro for the midwife and the con for the doctor for the time being, or at that time. Also, Andrew could come to every single appointment and every single ultrasound and every single blood test and every single this and that, and the doctors, no. The only time he would get to do anything is get to see him be pushed out. Also, I wanted to have a woman deliver my child. I don't care for a man being at my vagina. Also, men have no freaking idea what it's like to give birth. They have no freaking idea what it's like to have a vagina. They have no freaking idea what it's like to bleed out of your hoo-ha every month. So I wanted a woman to be the one that I talked to. I wanted a woman to be the one that delivered my child, because they know what's going on down there. My midwife had children. They all had children. So they know what it's like. They know what you're going through. They know the struggle. They know the fact of when you think your water breaks 77 times and it hasn't. So they understand that because they've been there before and they've been a first-time mom. Peanut, are you pooping? Also, midwives, they let you know your options. They let you know that you can have a home birth. They let you know you can have a natural birth, a medicated birth. They have, at their facility, they had the gas pain relief medication. They also have an herbal bath. They also have a normal water bath. They have a shower, and they have a nice comfortable bed for you to lay on and push out. And they encourage you to they believe in you, and they believe in your body, and they believe in what it can do and what it's capable of. So they make you feel really confident. They make you feel really empowered. And doctors are just like, C-section, yes, so I can do it in 20 minutes, go home to my wife and kids and have dinner. That's literally what doctors do. They are so quick with C-sections, and I'm terrified of a C-section because I am terrified of surgery, terrified of being cut open. It's a very invasive surgery, and doctors are way too quick with it. So with midwives, they do the most, so you don't have to have a C-section. Also, my midwives knew I didn't want to have an epidural, so they let me know my other pain options and pain relief options instead of just pushing the epidural on me. They also let me know that if I wanted to get the epidural, that there is no judgment and that that's perfectly fine. And in fact, one midwife kind of encouraged it a little bit because she's like, hell, I could not give a natural birth. They don't make you feel bad for it about not being able to give natural birth, and I feel like that's kind of a stigma around midwives, is if you don't give a natural birth, you can't go there. And also still had the option of delivering at a hospital, which I wanted to do in case anything went wrong. Halfway through my pregnancy at the beginning, I kind of wanted a home birth or birth at the birthing center, but then I ended up changing my mind. Midwives also offer a lot of labor support, and they care about your mental health. Like, my midwife talked to me multiple times about postpartum depression and that postpartum anxiety, and we also expected it to happen. Luckily it didn't, but I've had a few moments. She helped me find the best medication and therapy too, because I was breastfeeding at the time. I'm no longer breastfeeding though, because I wanted something that wouldn't hurt them and that was safe. So she helped me find the best options for me, and yeah. Also, I feel like midwives are more laid back and relaxed and calm, and I feel like doctors and nurses are just all the time. And I want everybody to know, I'm not like hating on OB-GYNs, and I'm not hating on nurses, because I did have a lot of really good nurses in the hospital that I was giving birth at. But the personal one that I went to the first time, I had a very bad experience with them, and I did not care for them. I really didn't. Also, midwives are capable of spending more time with you because they can. They make the time for it, and they have the time for it. And doctors, they're like scheduled to induce people, and they're scheduled to give a C-section, and they're scheduled to do this, and you know, but your midwife is there for you, and yeah, it's basically that. And I got to meet every single one of the midwives, and I got to meet every single one of their staff, and I got to meet everyone that would potentially be there to deliver for me. But with a doctor, you don't get that. You get to meet them when they're in there for 5 minutes helping you push. That's when you get to meet your doctor. So that's kind of weird to me, because it's kind of like, I want to have a relationship with you and I want to be able to trust you, because you're looking and feeling all sorts of things and you're doing all this crap and you're staring into my vag. So, like, weirdly enough, with my midwives, when they said they need to check me, I was like, okay. Like, because I felt comfortable with them, I felt safe with them, I felt like I could be open with them, and I felt like I could ask questions without being looked at stupidly or feeling stupid. With the doctor, I felt like I couldn't ask anything. I didn't even have time to ask any questions. I had a whole list of things that I wanted to ask that I didn't even get to ask. It was insane to me. And then they handed me the booklet and said, here, read this. This will answer all your questions. It was a list of what I couldn't eat. Thanks. I can look that up on Google. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it made your decision on a midwife or a doctor or obgyn a lot easier. Choose midwife. You won't regret it. Let me know if you had a midwife or an obgyn, and if you had a good experience or a bad experience, because I'm curious, because I've only had a good experience with a midwife and a horrible experience with my first visit with doctors. So I've heard people have lovely doctors, and they have, you know, they probably go through like a friend doctor or a family doctor that's been used, or they've been seeing them for quite a while and they do have a relationship built. But in this case, I wasn't expecting to get pregnant, so I didn't have time to really look into it that quickly, because by the time I found out I was pregnant, I was already 4 weeks and COVID was still amidst, so it was kind of difficult to find where to go, and I didn't know what I was doing. I'm a first-time mom. I didn't even know how to schedule a dentist appointment until I became pregnant, because my mom did everything for me until I became pregnant. So that's that. Anyways, guys, please consider subscribing and leaving a like, and following my Instagram at ashlyn.1823. It's also, all my socials are down in the description below. Anyways, guys, I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.